let me think here. What was her name? You know. Yeah, Elisa.
Greetings, children of the screen, your friendly neighborhood nerd scum here, and welcome to another installment of Carry That Weight, the Cowboy Bebop Retrospective. I'm joined by
Vic
and Rosie.
And we're going to be taking a look at Session 10, Ganymede Elegy. Go!
Okay, showtime.
I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Right on, guys. So, in Session 10, what we find is Jet returning to Ganymede, where he was once with, like, the love of his life. He worked there as a police officer. It's where most of his past has taken place. And while he's there, kind of trying to reconnect with her and figuring out why she walked out on him, they get a notice on a new bounty, which just so happens to be her new boyfriend, and then things get interesting. So, guys, what'd you think of Session 10, Ganymede Elegy?
Obviously, it was Cowboy Bebop, so we enjoyed it.
It's fucking awesome.
I already loved
Thanks
the
for
characters. You're
Speaking
welcome.
for me.
You're very welcome. We loved it. You know, it was great. Faye is our favorite character.
Yeah.
Her opinion
It's
doesn't
your
matter.
favorite character.
Yeah. So, how did you like it, speaking for yourself?
I thought it was good, but sad.
Yeah.
I didn't cry though, so there.
No, yeah, it's not like super sad, but it is really like in the truest like noir sensibility. It's very melancholy, you know. It's just kind of like it's sad, but it's not like, oh my god. It's just more like a sad saxophone playing in the background.
I just felt nothing because I'm an emotionless.
Yeah.
I can't speak.
Wow, really?
I'm emotionless.
She's an emotional black hole of
Yeah.
torment.
Yeah.
That's why we like her.
Thanks.
Right on, guys. So, what was your favorite thing out of Session 10 of Cowboy Bebop?
Honestly, I'm pretty excited about getting to know more about Jet's character, since before all of this, he was mostly just the tech guy in the ship. He didn't go out and do anything. We didn't know much about him. We just knew that.
Yeah. He wasn't as involved
Yeah.
in, like, missions off the ship, and, like, and he's, like, the captain, and kind of, like, he's a oracle, or, like, the guy in the
Yeah.
chair, you know?
And
So, yeah.
now we know that he has feelings.
Yeah. Like,
Unlike me.
We also see why, like, there have been those little hints of, like, not Jet being a misogynist, but Jet not really trusting women very much, or really he doesn't trust much of anybody, but specifically women. He has very little trust for women, and we now see where that kind of comes from. And to the character's credit, I don't think he consciously thinks that I don't trust women. They're all lying bitches.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I think it's just the sadness he has from this encounter informing his behavior, which again is one of those great layered things Cowboy Bebop does. So yeah, it's really cool that we're going to see him be more active in like the adventures and stuff, and especially with this being one of the first ones that he is more active in, it being a personal story really works.
Yee.
And for you, ma'am?
I liked the Jet part too, but like another thing I liked was how Spike was like the relief of all of the tension and stuff. Like he would just be there and be like, listen guys.
Yeah. No, yeah, it is interesting again, like the same way that Jet's role on the ship has changed. Like Spike, he doesn't actually change, but we get to see more aspects and facets of his character now, especially because, as he said in the previous episode, he is stuck on a ship with pets, kids, and women with bad attitudes. 3 things he hates. So, like, now we've seen him go pretty utilitarian, and you can see him making more of an effort to, like, be positive, than we've seen him be in the past, because he's just trying not to lose his shit. And I think that's fantastic. So, as for me, my favorite thing in this episode is the same thing that is in reality Vic's favorite thing about this episode, but she lied because she doesn't want to seem like a pervy perv, and that is Faye sunbathing.
That was a pretty nice scene, though. I mean, I have to agree with you. I'd at least sound like I wasn't...
You would have completely been Ed, just rubbing your face all over the legs.
Just, huh? Oh. That's exactly what Ed did.
Yeah, no, it is exactly what Ed did. I think I told y'all there's a really great fan edit.
Yeah.
And then someone else took that fan edit and then made porn to follow it. Yeah, it's kind of hilarious until you get to the part...
Are you sure it wasn't her that made it?
It was
Might
me
be.
the whole time.
But no, I'm just kidding. In reality, my favorite thing, although I love that scene, it's fantastic.
I bet you do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. But my favorite thing actually is just the fact that, like, for the first time, we're starting to see what the actual tone of Cowboy Bebop as a series is going to be. Where, like, this one episode mixes plenty of comedy with, like, plenty of the kind of noir and Western style, like, archetypal stories and characters. Like, it's the first time where, like, even in Jammin' with Edward, like, we were still being introduced to Ed, but we weren't actually seeing the effect of all these people cohabitating and, like, living a life together, like, overlapping each other.
Yeah.
And, like, now that we are, we're actually seeing Cowboy Bebop become the tone of the show that I love. Where, like, again, we still, like, the show blends tones all over the place. So, like, we get some more episodes that are darker and stuff, but right now, like, we're in core about Cowboy Bebop. Like, the stuff that when I think of Cowboy Bebop and I get a feeling about the show, like, we're at the point where the show has become that feeling.
Sorry, but this is business.
Grab the wheel! Hurry!
What's up?
I'm after a head worth 1.8 million.
What?
Here, I'll send you the data.
There's a bounty on this guy.
Yeah. Inside info from your pal Donnelly. Apparently, he gunned down a loan shark.
I'll take care of this. You can go back.
You're not gonna let him get away, are you?
When I was a cop, this was my beat. I'm the black dog, and when I bite, I don't let go. I have no regrets about her, but I'll settle this score on my own turf.
Justice and duty, huh? All right.
And on the other side of the equation, what didn't work for you in this episode?
There wasn't enough Ed at all. I mean, yeah, I get that, you know, they were there for a short while to rub up on Faye's leg, but not nearly enough.
Well,
Personally, for me, I need more, like, comedic
Rubbing.
relief.
Yeah. Well, and with the way the show's structured, yeah, we do get less Ed, but that's because, again, Ed is slowly starting to be slotted into the role that Jet used to play on the ship. So, like, in this episode, because Jet takes center stage, like, Ed gets minimalized a little bit, but still has some of the funniest and best moments in the episode. So, yeah, I could have done with some more Ed, but Ed was very well utilized, so...
I think it's mostly just because I'm very drawn to comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because I have no emotions, so sad things are just kind of like, oh, that's kind of like real life. I like the funny stuff, please.
Yeah.
How did this happen to me?
And Miss Rosie, what was your least favorite thing about this episode?
The bitch that left him.
That's fair.
That's good.
That's fair.
Like,
I mean,
she
like...
wasn't even like...
No, here's the thing. I think bitch is a little harsh, because all her reasoning for leaving him
Yeah.
is sound, but she
She
left
just
a
did
note
it
with one
horribly.
word on it, farewell. Like, that's a bitchy thing to do, and she might be a little bit of a cunt, but I don't know if I'd go as far to call her a bitch. Am I getting that reversed?
I don't know. Maybe she's a bunt.
She's
a
a
bitch and a
bunt.
cunt. She's a bunt
Because
cake.
here's the thing about it. Like, again, I get all her reasoning. I sympathize with her. I'm like, yeah, you probably should have got out of that relationship. But in order to leave one word, like, you have to go out of your way to think of that, I think. I don't think anyone ends a relationship and it's like, farewell, that'll be fine.
Yeah, no, she should have at least, like, tried to talk about it. That's what fucked me up. I was like, she
Yeah.
just left!
And she didn't even write a proper Dear John letter. If she'd even given him, like, hey, this is why I'm leaving you. I can't do this. All this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even then I would have been like, okay, because, like, Jet's not a guy who gives in easily, so I could see why she would have trouble believing he would change to accommodate her. And at that point, I think the relationship was past that. But, yeah, I mean, I get where she's coming from, but yeah, she's also kind of, she's kind of bitchy.
The fact she didn't even try in the first place,
Yeah.
and then the fact that she didn't try and tell him that she was feeling that way before leaving. She was just like, well, what you gonna do? Goodbye.
Right. And, you know, like,
Felicia.
she also is with a guy who's, like, a crook himself, even though, like, it's indicated that she actually is the one who got him into trouble and stuff like that.
That too! Oh my god,
So,
she's an
like,
ass!
Yeah. Yeah.
Not even a good ass. She's like a saggy ass.
So, as for my least favorite thing in this episode, the episode really works for me in general, but I would say that this is probably the most cliched in terms of the main, like, again, it's good. They do good stuff with it, but it's probably the most cliched archetypal story. And I do actually think that's a deliberate choice because we're looking into Jet's backstory in this one. So, like, you want something that the audience is familiar with so they can focus on the information and stuff like that. And again, they managed to balance the tone really well. Yeah, the kind of clichéness of it mixed with how their variations on the archetypal characters for this story, as we mentioned, like, the lady she makes a lot of questionable choices. More so than most characters, like, say, in Casablanca or something like that, you know, or other great noir movies. And then at the same time, like, her boyfriend is just, like, the most pathetic, babbling loser I've ever seen in my life. So, yeah, those kind of things didn't really work for me great, but, like, all in all, it's still a really great episode. So yeah, guys, all in all, Session 10, just like the rest of the show, is pretty badass. By now, if we haven't convinced you to watch Cowboy Bebop, there's no hope for you. Step away from the screen and move on with your life. Do you guys have any final thoughts for the folks at home?
10 out of 10 for episode 10.
Vic is a final thought.
Yeah, I am.
Checkered cat, go tell and tell along the road.
Sense of justice and duty, huh?
First time he's home in years. Of course he's gonna go see her.
You know, he's kidding himself if he thinks his old girlfriend's still carrying a torch for him.
And you're kidding yourself if you think every woman's like you. They're not, you know.
Duty calls 3 o'clock tea.
Right on, guys. Thank you very much for joining us for another episode of Carry That Weight, the Cowboy Bebop Retrospective.
Later.
Adios.
And if you like this video, guys, please leave a like and share it with some friends. Also, if you're not subscribed, please hit that little bell so you can get updates on all the dope content we'll have coming out in the future. Furthermore, guys, if you'd like to follow us on Instagram or Twitter, we will have the link for that in the description below. Once again, thank you very much, children of the screen. Hope you all have a good one. RDSCUM, out.
Yeah.
Allez, à bientôt. See you next time.
Good night.